If this video is in front of you, it's there for a reason. It's got me in it, and it's got that fear that everyone who watches this video has. That question that you read in the title of the video and that made you click on the video, the answer to that question is, yes, you are doomed to fail in life. And I have to tell you, this is not a motivational video. I'm just going to talk about some bitter truths that nobody talks about, and those who talk about it are looked at like the bogeyman. I'm going to tell you how poisonous thoughts have been working on you from your childhood till today, how you have been deceived, why you are unhappy, why you are poor, and why you will remain poor, and that none of this is your fault. Look around you, YouTubers who give away their life's earnings like it's nothing, billionaires who go to space like they're going somewhere, celebrities who work like dogs for a month and eat your hard-earned money in one sitting. How is this possible? It's like you live in a different world. How do you think you will pay the rent and bills for your 1+1 box? Prices keep going up, but your salary doesn't change much. Wake up in the morning before sunrise, work for 8 hours to fulfill the dreams of someone you don't know, and go back to your cell. I guess there is no other way to describe a 60 square meter place. Linger and sleep looking at the screen they give you so you don't realize how shitty your life is. When was the last time you did nothing? I mean, really, when was the last time you did nothing? Even when you go to the bathroom, you take your phone with you so you are not alone with your own thoughts. If you take your head off your phone for a minute and start thinking, you will realize that everybody around you dresses the same, thinks the same, has the same tastes. Everybody is a copy of everybody else. If you live in a metropolis like New York, you are one of millions of people. Only he is copied. If you are doing the same things as others, you will die like them. Without doing anything worthwhile in this life, you get up in the morning, go into your moving box where you can hardly breathe, work for your master, go back to your 60 square meter cell, repeat the same cycle. Every day, every month, every year. It doesn't actually have to be this way. There's a way out of this meaningless cycle, but I have to say that this video contains some painful truths that society tells us and our parents didn't tell us, truths that people react to when they are mentioned. If you don't want to live the life that modern society imposes, where everyone dresses the same, has the same tastes, thinks the same, and I think you don't if you've come across this video, keep watching. When you get out of this cycle, everything will be very different, but it won't be easy. First, I have to tell you some things that have not been told. If you are ready for it, first we have to go to the root of all this in our childhood. The things we like to do as children, the reasons for them, what is our purpose in life, why do we get out of bed in the morning? None of these questions were asked of us in school. Instead, we spent most of our days sitting at desks, most of our days learning useless information that we would never use again. Class starts, you wait for recess, years pass waiting for school to end, waiting for Friday, waiting for summer vacation, waiting for the next liberation bell. Children don't like school. It's normal, everyone used to tell us. Maybe you believe this lie too. I'm talking about a place where people are kept within 4 walls, with a large courtyard, surrounded by big walls and barbed wire, where you are taking roll call every day you enter, run by the principal, with guards in the corridors, where you have little right to question, and where we are very happy when we finally leave. In a classroom of 30 people, without any special attention from the teacher, you sit behind your desk all day, solving questions with the choices given to you. The school life of current children after they learn to read and write is spent solving tests. Children as young as 7 are made to take mock exams and compete against each other. The only thing that changes as they get older is the number of choices on their tests. 3, 4, 5. Waste your years in a rotten system that prepares you not for life, but for the exam, and follow what they impose, not what you love. Get up in the morning, spend 8 hours doing things you don't like, go home, repeat this cycle for 12 years. This is how they acclimatize you to the life you will live in the future. Schools are supposed to help us discover our talents, the things we enjoy doing or would enjoy doing, but they treat us like robots and impose the same subjects on us. They indoctrinate you with the idea that you have to get good grades in exams to be successful, and if you don't, you feel useless. In the meantime, you forget what you are passionate about, what you enjoy doing, you lose your way. Since you don't enjoy the class you are studying, the work you are doing, you fill this void with one-time pleasures. Video games, social media, smoking, alcohol. 12 years of education, every second of your life, they engrave in your brain that your goal in life is to get into a good school and get a job with a good salary. As if there is no other way, as if in real life, in the tests they give us, it consists of 5 choices. The current education system is nothing more than a program organized by the elites to train white-collar modern slaves to work for them. In public schools, they impose the same boring curriculum on everyone, while the children of the elite live a completely different life. In the small class sizes they attend, they are given special attention and activities are organized to discover their true talents and passions. They are given practical information about real life, while your brain has been inflated with nonsense. The school that makes you lose your way and leads you to a depressing life is a place for the elite, a place that helps them find their purpose in life. The elite live in different parts of the city, shop in different places, eat different food, watch sporting events in different restaurants. Their children go to the best schools. These differences, day by day, open up the gap between the classes within society, and now the gap is wider than it has ever been before. This gap, which those of us from below cannot close, is affecting our lives in a very bad way. Look, every child is special. Everyone has different interests and talents. Doctor, engineer, painter, musician, athlete, architect, software developer, actor, writer. The possibilities are limitless. Despite this, public schools put us through a fabricated education as if we are all the same. This system, which is purely theoretical, never practiced, based on rote memorization, imposes a mindset that keeps us poor. Studying 8 hours a day, going to work, whatever you normally do. It will be boring. It doesn't matter what you want to do. We decide what you do. The only way to earn money and survive is to work for someone else. This mindset that they impose on us from childhood is going to affect our future life in a very bad way. Money means nothing if you start your mornings cursing and not excited. I want to say again, contrary to what you may think, you can enjoy your work or your studies. I will explain how this can happen in a moment. You cannot do this with a very difficult system, with the current education system, as you think. Let's think of it like a factory that produces hammers. Whatever material comes in, it all goes through the same process and becomes a hammer. Copper, gold, silver, diamonds. They are all put into the same molds. If these precious materials don't make good hammers, they are not worthless, are they? Our education system is like a stupid factory trying to make hammers out of any metal. Or think of it this way, gold conducts electricity better than copper. So why aren't electric cables made of gold? It would be absurd to use a precious metal like gold for something as mundane as an electric cable. Because some children are like that, they can do the best on the questions given by the ridiculous system at school because they are intelligent. But their interests are very different. Let's say our intelligent child is interested in game making. When he listens to lectures on game making on the internet, he loses track of time. He can work on this subject for 4 hours, 5 hours without interruption, and most importantly, he can use his whole mind while doing this work, because he enjoys it. But his family and teachers at school put so much pressure on him, telling him that this is a useless job and that he should prepare for the university exam, that the child gives up doing what he loves and starts memorizing nonsensical information that has nothing to do with him just for the exam. Even if the child does not study willingly because of his intelligence, even if he uses 30% of his mind, he succeeds in the exam, goes to university, studies in a department he does not like and becomes an ordinary white-collar, salaried employee. Because he does not like what he does, he spends a lifetime without fully realizing his potential. With the right guidance, maybe he could become a very good game producer and start his own company. But this bright kid was condemned to a white-collar job he never wanted and turned into an electric cable just because he was good at math. This is exactly what our education system is doing, making electric cables out of gold when there are copper mines everywhere. It is trying to take children who go to school, each with completely different characteristics, talents, and passions, and turn them into a single type. A child who could be an excellent painter feels worthless because he cannot do math. A child who, with the right guidance, could earn millions doing what he loves, graduates against his will from the engineering faculty imposed on him by the system. He will work all his life in a job he hates with a low salary and spend a lifetime without knowing his potential. Outsiders will call him a failure. In another parallel universe where the education system was not uniform, he could have become a famous painter. They blame the failure of their outdated education system on us. Another problem that we are not taught in school and that we face in adulthood is value production. In school, we are taught that if we want to earn more money, we have to work longer hours. This is selling your time for money. You are a white-collar engineer. You work 8 hours a day and earn this much money a month. The only thing you can do to earn more money is to work longer hours. But because you are not producing value, you are selling your time. Because your work can be done by thousands of people who have studied the same program as you. Your work is not special, it's substitutable. What did you expect? To take the most risk-free path that everyone else takes, study for exams, graduate from your dream school, and live a comfortable life? The year is 2023. Being a university graduate does not mean a comfortable life like in the old days. There are millions of university graduates who have done exactly the same things as you. You are not special. You are copies of each other. The money you earn by working 160 hours, people in other sectors earn in 5 minutes. Did they study engineering and come here? What do you do with the few pennies you earn? Do you go and buy phones and clothes you don't need? Or do you go and spend your money in ridiculous places during the interval given to you by your masters so that you don't rebel after your weekday slavery? Of course, they didn't teach you how to manage your money at school. Back then, you were busy memorizing nonsense that you don't remember now, just to take your university exams. Because you spend 6 hours of your day looking at your phone or TV screen, you see people's lives at the same time and you feel bad. What's wrong with me? I can do it too. After 12 installments of going to a resort and taking photos and looking like you're living the good life on your Instagram, you work for the remaining 15 days to pay off the debts of 350 days of life. You don't even think about how to get out of this situation. Because you think this is life. In fact, you don't have time to think. Work for 8 hours, spend the rest of your free time scrolling through Instagram, watching a few episodes on Netflix. Don't forget to buy modern drugs so you don't notice the debauchery of your life. It's the only way to endure your life in a boxy house that old people wouldn't sit in if you paid them. Because despite all this, you might be saying, the education system has been the same for years. Why is it impossible for my middle-class family to buy their own house, car, and start a family, and now it seems impossible for me? Stay with me because things are going to get a little bit more complicated. Wealth sharing. When we look at the lowest segment of society, the minimum wage earners, we see that not much has changed for them in the last 20 years. Even though the economy has gotten so bad, their purchasing power remains similar. The same cannot be said for the so-called middle class. The middle class, which makes up the vast majority of a healthy society, is getting poorer by the day, and this impoverishment has now reached its peak. So how did we get to this point? As for the world at large, after the 2008 crisis and the pandemic, governments had to bail out the big banks and companies that were in trouble, and they did. They prevented a major crisis. However, while this rescue operation was being carried out, the consequences of the money that was printed without any return soon became apparent. In the U.S., crude oil prices rose by 55%, used car prices by 32%, meat prices by 21%, wood prices by 35%, wheat prices by 37%, sugar prices by 33%, coffee prices by 108%, and rent prices in New York by 23%. The inflation caused by free money printing caused prices to rise. But the middle income group in particular did not get a raise in line with this increase. As inflation increases in any country, the middle income group and the lower income group move closer to each other. As such, while the purchasing power of the lower income group remains the same, the purchasing power of the middle class decreases and approaches the lower class. So where does the money that the middle class, which makes up a large part of society, used to earn go now? The truth is that this wealth is being stolen from the middle class and transferred to the rich. This is happening all over the world right now, and the middle class, the most important part of society, is disappearing. While in the short term it may be seen as adding to the wealth of the rich, the disappearance of the middle class is a harbinger of the collapse of civilization today. How? Let me explain. Think of a few extremely rich people who have become oligarchs. How many shirts do they buy in a month? How many shirts do a few 100,000 extremely poor people buy in a month? And how many shirts do 60 million middle-income people buy in a month? If out of 60 million middle-income people, 40 million are classified as poor and very few as extremely rich, how does that change the demand for shirts across the country? Why is that shirt manufacturer reducing his business? Why can't we sell it? Doesn't the retailer, the supplier from whom he buys the fabric, the cotton seller, the transporter, the workers in the factory sell it? Why are jobs falling? The middle class is the group that both produces goods and services by working efficiently and turns the wheels of the economy by spending what it earns. A society where the middle class disappears is doomed to collapse, and Western societies are slowly collapsing. Is another life possible? It is possible to say that there is a way out of the system where our passions in life are taken away from us, where we work meaninglessly for our masters. We don't have to perish without doing something truly valuable. With the right mindset and the discipline to work hard, we can find ourselves, be happy, and wake up every morning with joy. But first we have to realize that what we have been told since childhood is a lie. We can enjoy what we do. This work is perhaps the most suitable for us. Memorizing the nonsense questions that schools impose on us is not the only way out. Getting a low grade in math does not mean you are useless. Once you get rid of old toxic thoughts, you can start cleaning up your current self. You shouldn't spend 6 hours a day on social media or watching TV shows. You shouldn't waste your time with videos that you forget 5 seconds after watching them. You should exercise, watch your diet, and improve yourself. Most importantly, you should follow your passions. You should do what is right for you, not what is imposed on you. You should enjoy the process itself, not the result. When you do what you love, you will find that you never realize how fast time passes. Your life will change when you realize that happiness can be found not in social media, alcohol, cigarettes, computer games, but in your work or study. There is nothing better in this life than having a reason to get out of bed in the morning. You will follow your dreams, not the path that everyone else is walking. You will work hard, enjoy every minute of it, and at the end of the day you will have done something worthwhile in this life. Even if we don't succeed, when we look back, we will be a person who followed our own passions. And most importantly, we will not say if only. If you have watched this video so far, I hope you are walking your own path or have decided to walk it after this video. I hope the same will be true for me. Thank you for watching.